This is verse 11 of the 19th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. The disciples have been asking Jesus privately about his statement concerning marriage and divorce and the extraordinarily high standard that Jesus articulates there with respect to the justification for divorce, and they've essentially indicated, as probably a pretty common opinion in the first century among Jewish men, they'd be better off not to marry than to be restricted in such a severe way to a wife. That seems to be the attitude they're reflecting here, and Jesus responds to it now. So ho, this is the article, can sometimes stand as a pronoun. That's what's going on here. So he, postpositive de, but he, apen, from lego, I say. Third person singular, aorist active indicative, he said. Indirect object, autois, third person pronoun. Dative, masculine plural. So he said to them, to the disciples, who, the negation, pantes, in the nominative, not all, is the notion. It's standing here as a subject, substantive subject to the verb korusen. It's usually translated receive. It's a little bit of a different sense of it, though. The word korao means to, sometimes can mean to depart. It can also mean to make a space, to form a separation. And that's really the idea. Not all can make a space for this, you might say, in a very literal sense. Not all can deal with this. Not all have the room in their lives, as it were, for the statement that you've just stated. Now, this is referring to the statement of the disciples, it's better for a man not to marry. Jesus, in effect, is saying not everybody can handle such a rule. It is the natural psychological disposition of human beings to marry, for men to marry a woman, and for women to marry men. That's the kind of basic makeup that we have. More or less take that for granted. And so Jesus is essentially pointing out that whether or not their statement is true, it's certainly the case that for most people the normal course of events is to marry. And so not all can make a space, literally tone logon, make a space for tone logon, the word, and then to tone, this one, the demonstrative pronoun, making it clear it's referring to what the disciples have just said. All, contracted from Allah, which is the strong negation, but only, would be the form of it, hois, relative pronoun, and the dative masculine plural, but to those, dedotai. From didomi, I give. This is the perfect passive of the verb, and only those to whom it has been given. So for some, this is given to them in a variety of ways that he will actually indicate in the subsequent conversation, but the point is that there is a normal process in life to marry, but of course the very discretion that Jesus has provided indicates that he has a very different, much higher view of marriage and the deep fulfillment that comes by it, and probably was commonplace, at least, in the common thinking of the disciples as they posed this question. So there's more to be said on the subject, but at this point Jesus is going to plow in just a little bit to a more profound examination of the point.